What's going on, everyone? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I've got 5 stocks for you to look into today. And first off, I'm going to get into CleanSpark. We are on a nice little uptrend here lately, and I do still think that it's at a great time to buy. Honestly, anything in the low teens to me is a great time to buy, and I am very, very high convicted in CleanSpark. And to be honest, I will be loading up if it comes under $10, which honestly, I kind of don't expect to see $10 again. Now, for one, we're going to get our Bitcoin mining update here anytime now. It could be today, could be tomorrow. Typically it comes out on the 3rd, so look out for that. Now you could just hop over to their Facebook and they'll post their updated numbers here. They haven't yet, so just keep an eye out for that. Should be today or tomorrow. And that'll give us some information into how they've progressed in their Bitcoin mining. Seeing if they got more exahash, seeing if they're above that 10 Bitcoin mined per day. And if you didn't see my previous video about CleanSpark and what I expect for the next quarter, check that out. I'll leave you guys a link at the end screen or something. Next up, I want to talk about Matterport or MTTR. Now this one on the day is actually down 5%, and I did pick up a little bit of Matterport today. Now we're under a $2 billion market cap. I think anytime it comes under $2 billion is a great time to add in. And hopping over to the chart, it does look like we may break this trend line here, come down and retest these lower levels, but I honestly think the bottom's priced in. I don't think we're going to go much lower than $6. And with just the huge opportunity in front of this company with the metaverse, now what they do is they actually map houses in real life, map businesses in real life, and they can put them in the metaverse or put them in virtual space. So I think this is going to be extremely important in the future when you're talking about metaverse. And this is one of my top metaverse plays. Also, another one to look into is IMMR or immersion. Now, next up, I want to talk about Bionanogenomics or Bngo. I did upload their earnings call, just simply their earnings call. I didn't actually talk about it or anything. I just wanted to upload that just to have it for you guys, and so I could go back and look over it. But when you look into it, they actually did increase their revenue, and you have a quote here from the CEO saying, "We had the strongest quarter in Bionano's history with a record number of Sapphire shipments and installations, including adoptions of several notable sites, including leading hospitals, cytogenetic labs, and academic medical centers." So this is great that more people are implementing the Sapphire system. Now, one thing to take note of though is the cost of revenue has increased. Now their gross margins did slip to 4 and 22% from 30 and 33%. And their future guidance is pretty strong. They're projecting 24 to 27 million in revenue for 2022. And looking at the chart, we did hit a low of 165. If it comes back towards there, I'm going to be absolutely loading up. I did actually buy a little bit today, right at $2. And I think just right at this level, it's a fantastic time to add in. Talking market cap, we're right around $600 million market cap. And when you look at the future potential in the genomic space, I think this is a great choice. And it's a very small cap. So if there's a lot of hype leading into this one, you know, we can very likely see the teens again if we do get that market exuberance, you know, but it does depend on how the market goes. You know, right now, the market is very unwilling to take risks, and that's why Bionano has likely suffered quite a bit. There's a lot to do with raising rates and just the fear in the market overall, and once we get past this stage, I think once we get around summertime or end of 2022, we will likely see this showing some strength again, potentially working its way back to 5 or even 10. But I am in Bngo for the long term, and I think at this price, it's just a steal. But it is good to see that they have decent guidance coming into 2022, and that market cap is right under 600 million. I think it's a great time to add in to Bngo. Now, next up, I want to talk about PayPal. I did add a little bit of this to my portfolio, and I think in the low hundreds, under 110 is a great time to add in. And looking at it, we're at a price to sales at 5, which is pretty high, but for a growth company, I think that's not too horrible. I mean, it is a lot lower than it's traded in history. And when you look at the forward PE, we're only at about a 24 forward PE, which is great compared to where it's normally trading at in the 30s to 40s, even sometimes in the 50s. So I think it's at a great zone to add into. And this is one of only a select few large caps that I think is at a great time to add in. We've got the RSI bouncing off of oversold right when we came down to around 100. And I think that's a great time to add in. Anything under $100, I think is, you're going to look back and be very, very happy to buy in, but that's just my personal opinion. And yeah, I think the bottom has been priced in down in the 90s. We might come down to the 90s again, but if we do, I will take that as a serious buying opportunity. And even where it's at, you know, I'm happy to buy it 104, 105. I did actually pop it at 104 today. So I'm happy to buy at that price. And you know, looking at the MACD, it does look like it's about ready to curl, but we'll see where that goes. And like I said with the RSI, we are bouncing off of oversold. And we have a considerable drop here from their earnings. Their guidance really wasn't all that great, and that caused just a huge gap down, and we've just been downtrending since. I think this can come down a little bit more, and then we're going to start coming back up. I do think we can come and test 90 again, and I'm hopeful because then I can add in more. But I do see it as a great deal in the 90s and even the low hundreds. Like I said, under 110 I think is a great time to add in if you're looking at this from a year, 2-year time horizon. And next up, I want to talk about ChargePoint real quick, and this is going to be an interesting day for it because today here, as of this upload, we have their earnings coming out tonight. And it has been nice to see lately. It's been in a little bit of an uptrend. We did come down to about 1151. I think there's a pretty strong support level. So if it comes under 12, I think it's a great time to add in. And even at its current price, I think it is good. I think under 20, for the long term, you'll be happy. So I'm taking advantage of it while it's under 15. But if we do test these lower levels, I will have to load in. I will have to load up on this one. And looking at it though, RSI is pretty neutral. MACD is kind of coming down. So we might come down to the low, we might come down and break 13 before our earnings here today. But I do think it's at a great time to add in. And speaking of earnings, they are expecting 76 million in revenue and still a negative 16 cents EPS, meaning that they aren't going to be profitable yet. But like I said, I think long term this is going to be a fantastic stock to own. And looking back, you'll see that the revenue has been slowly but surely increasing. And I've listened to every earnings call. And when you go back one more time, I think the revenue was like 56 million. Yeah, they reported 56 million, expected 50. And this time was the same thing. A nice little beat. We will see if they beat. I will be very happy if they are in that $70 million range, even if they don't beat and get over 76. I still think it's great to see them over 70 million in revenue. Just a nice steady increase in revenue. So stay tuned because their earnings call is going to give us a lot of information about their European expansion and about their acquisition of Vericity and Has2Be. We're going to get a lot of information there, so stay tuned to the earnings and I will give you guys an edited, cut up version of it here at the end of the day. But thanks, as always guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.